All right, let's talk about one of the most important sections, which is how to lower your set point. And the reason this is so important is because this really is the entire essence of the Pound to Cure program. The idea here is that our body has a set point that it tries to defend, a weight that it likes to be at, and that we have to figure out strategies and ways that we can lower our set point. And this graphic, I think, is really a perfect example of what we're going for. So we're starting out at our set point, and let's say that's 250 pounds. Our goal is to drop that set point. If we could get that set point to go down 75 pounds to a new weight of 175 pounds, then our body would say, all right, I'm at 175, my brain thinks I should be at 175 pounds, but my body weight is still at 250 pounds. So I feel like I'm very, very overfed. I should be 175, I shouldn't be 250. And if we could just flip that switch and drop that set point 75 points, then immediately our brain would say, you should not have any hunger. You should never want to eat. Small amounts of food should satisfy you. That's all it should take for you to meet your nutritional goals. And you would have almost mastery of hunger. And then our metabolism would go up and we would find ourselves wanting to exercise, wanting to move. We would burn a lot of calories. So we'd be eating very little, but burning a lot of calories. And the net result would be that our body weight would just drift down naturally over a period of 6 months to a year, and would ultimately get down to this 175 pounds, which is where our brain thinks we should be. And then once we're down there, our brain just works like we're 175 pounds. So if we gain a few pounds, then our body will bring us right back to that 175 pound weight. If we try to diet beyond that, our body's going to fight that as well. But our goal is to lower our set point, not to try to fight against it. And what we find is that there are really only 4 ways that you can lower your set point. And we're going to spend a lot of time on each of these, but I'm just going to give you a quick overview right now. So the 4 ways that we can lower our set point are a change in our diet, building muscle and using it, some medications, and finally weight loss surgery. So a change in our diet is not about eating less. It's about eating differently. And that really is one of the most critical points, is that you can't just eat fewer calories and expect to lower your set point. If you're still eating processed food, then a lower calorie processed food diet will allow you to lose a little bit of weight, but we're not going to see that set point move. Nutrition is really a spectrum. And on one end of the spectrum, we've got total junk food and candy and sugar-sweetened beverages like pop. And on the other hand, we have like a strict vegan diet where everything you eat that goes in your mouth is raw or organic, and just eating incredibly clean, much more than I'd say 99% of us are capable of. But somewhere between these 2 points, there's a lot of room. And our goal is to get you to move along this spectrum toward the healthier side. The further you can move, the further we'll be able to lower our set point. But however far you go, whatever decisions you make about changing your diet, it must be sustainable. This must be something that you can continue to do over the long run. Short-term changes in your diet result in short-term changes in your weight. We want to make long-term changes in our diet so that we can obtain long-term weight loss. Next is building muscle and using it. And this is different than exercise. It's not about how many calories you burn or how long you go on the treadmill for. It's really much more about the intensity of your exercise. How fast can you get your heart rate up? And typically shorter time periods. In general, I think you can get an amazing workout in about 30 minutes. And that includes a warm up and a cool down and some stretching and some weight training. You can do that all in 30 minutes for most of us for what we want to achieve. Younger people, we can try to push it out further and get them exercising a lot more. But for most of us, 30 minutes, maybe 45, at a really high intensity. Those 30 minutes are going to count though. It's not going to be a very easygoing, relaxed workout. You're going to try to push yourself to the limit. And your goal is to build muscle. I want you to think about weights, not cardio. Now, medications are something I do use in my practice, and I have found them helpful, but they are far from the end-all be-all of weight loss. And while there's some people who can benefit, a lot of people I've found have minimal benefit. There's some side effects. These are not perfect, but they can be helpful. They should never be looked at as kind of the main therapy. There's something you can add on after you've maximized your nutrition, built as much muscle as you can. Then perhaps some medications can kind of get you down those last 5, 10, in the best case scenario, maybe 20 pounds of weight. So that's something we're going to talk about. I'll go over each one of these medications and what they can offer. But to look at those as the backbone of our treatment plan, I think is setting yourself up for failure. The final way that you can lower your set point, and the way that a lot of my information about your nutrition and about how all these hormonal shifts work comes from weight loss surgery. It's far and away our most powerful set point lowering tool, but it is not a perfect treatment, and it is not for everyone. We've come a long way over the last decade or so with weight loss surgery, and we can do these things extremely safely. Any weight loss surgery plan must also be accompanied by a solid nutritional plan. And again, this is something that I do a lot of and that I do believe in for sure, but it's not something I ever try to talk someone into. This is not for everyone. It is a major life decision, and typically people have a great result. But again, I think you can succeed on our Pound to Cure program even if you have no interest in pursuing weight loss surgery. The nutrition that works well for my post-surgical patients also works incredibly well for non-surgical patients and can trigger some of these hormonal shifts that my weight loss surgery patients are seeing. So in summary, our goal is to lower our set point so that we can achieve sustained weight loss. This is not a short-term change we're trying to make. There's really only 4 ways that you can do it, and weight loss success is going to depend on us looking at these 4 ways, employing as many of them as we can or are willing to, and taking a long-term view on our body weight and our dieting and nutritional and exercise changes.